Hello, dear children. Welcome to Superior English. This is Simi Kaur bringing forth before you the poem from Flamingo, Aunt Jennifer's Tigers by Adrienne Rich. Adrienne Rich, 1929, was born in Baltimore, Maryland, in USA. She is widely known for her involvement in contemporary women's movement as a poet and theorist. She has published 19 volumes of poetry, 3 collections of essays, and other writings. A strong resistance to racism and militarism echoes through her work. The poem Aunt Jennifer's Tigers addresses the constraints of married life a woman experiences. Okay, children, before going through the stanzas, I would certainly like to give you the gist of the poem, what the poem is all about. Children, we human beings are a bundle of emotions, feelings, sentiments, desires, and ambitions. So was Aunt Jennifer. But her married life and her extremely dominating husband did not allow her to vent out her pent-up feelings and fulfill her desires and ambitions. What does the word dominating mean? Dominate means to control, to influence, to have an upper hand. So Aunt Jennifer's husband probably never tried to give her an equal stand in the family affairs, would always control her actions and behavior, and would never give her space in the relationship. This means he was dominating, that is, suppressing someone by oppressing. Her married life expected her to be a dutiful wife and fulfill her household duties diligently. Children, I have used the word diligently here. I could have used the word hardworking, but I have used this word diligently so that you learn a new word and take a step towards superior English. Diligently means doing one's duties with dedication, with lot of hard work and care. So Aunt Jennifer was expected to be diligent, little realizing that she too had an identity, a personality. Her feelings are manifested in her art, where she is embroidering a cloth with magnificent tigers on it. Why is she sewing particularly tigers on it? It is because the tiger is an epitome, a symbol, an example of courage, fearlessness, guts, boldness, radiance, beauty, and glory. And by sewing the magnificent tigers on the cloth, Aunt Jennifer is venting out her feelings, giving away an outlet to her desires. And what are her feelings and dreams? She wants to become as bold, as confident, as fearless, and as magnificent like the tigers. Stanza 1. Here we go. Aunt Jennifer's tigers prance across a screen, bright topaz denizens of a world of green. They do not fear the men beneath the tree. They pace in sleek chivalric certainty. This is stanza 1. Explanation. Aunt Jennifer is sewing the pattern of magnificent tigers on a piece of cloth. The tiger seems to prance across the screen. Prance is to walk or move with high springy steps. The tiger walks with gait. The tiger walks with style. During the walk, the tiger lifts both limbs on the same side together, as you can see in the picture. The denizens or the royal inhabitants of the forest, that is the tigers, look bright and powerful like the precious gemstone topaz. There are some men sitting beneath the tree, but the majestic animal walks undaunted, without any fear, glossy and gleaming with an air of confidence and fearlessness. Stanza 2. Aunt Jennifer's fingers, fluttering through her wool, find even the ivory needle hard to pull. The massive weight of Uncle's wedding band sits heavily upon Aunt Jennifer's hand. Explanation. Aunt Jennifer is finding the ivory needle hard to pull, meaning her hands are shaking and trembling and she is unable to continue with her stitching. Why is Aunt Jennifer finding the ivory needle hard to pull, children? Why are her hands shaking, and why is she finding it difficult to sew and stitch? It is because of the burden of her unhappy marriage, of which the ring is a constant reminder. Since this unhappy marriage involves the suppression of her feelings, inability to express her desires and achieve her dreams, there is an absence of energy and enthusiasm to carry out a task which is simply recreational. Stanza 3, which is the last stanza. When aunt is dead, her terrified hands will lie, still ringed with ordeals she was mastered by. The tigers in the panel that she made will go on prancing, proud and unafraid. Explanation. I'll begin with a question, children. Why are Aunt Jennifer's hands referred as terrified hands? This is something very important. Terrified hands are an example of personification. What is personification, children? When we attribute human characteristic to something which is non-human, like hands. Hands cannot be terrified. Fear is an emotion, and only a human being can be terrified, not the hands. Hence, terrified hands is an example of personification. Aunt Jennifer's hands are terrified. Why? Because probably she's terrorized by the circumstances in which she was living, which will continue to haunt her even after her death. Her hands will continue to be ringed, more so chained, by her unpleasant married life, which will continue to torment her. The word mastered indicates that she was always dominated, controlled, and suppressed. See the synonyms which I have used for the word dominated. The tigers in the panel that she made will go on prancing, proud and unafraid. Now these two lines have got two interpretations, a positive and a negative one. You can write either of the two interpretation, children, but make sure you are very clear, precise and articulate about what you are writing. The first interpretation is on a positive note. Every person resorts to or takes to some means to vent out or express one's ideas and speak out one's mind. Different people resort to different ways to express themselves, be it writing, singing, or even sketching. Similarly, the needlework pattern that Aunt Jennifer is creating is her very own way of expressing her inherent feelings, her innermost feelings, that she wants to be as proud, as fearless, as chivalrous as the majestic tiger. Even after she dies, the artwork which she has created will continue to adorn the wall or her room, and the tigers will live the life which she couldn't live. So this was on a positive note. Now we will see the second interpretation, which is comparatively on a negative, which is comparatively a negative one. These proud tigers are symbolic of the male chauvinism and the patriarchal setup of the society, who suppress women like Aunt Jennifer. One such is the very own husband of Aunt Jennifer. Such men will continue to dominate, to control and subdue women like Aunt Jennifer, and prance proudly like the royal tiger, freely and haughtily, without weighing the consequences of their actions, indifferent to the torment that many Aunt Jennifers may be facing. This brings us to the end of the poem. Now we shall discuss some important question and answers from the last few years of the board exams. Question number 1. How are Aunt Jennifer's tigers different from her? 2 marks. Answer. Aunt Jennifer's tigers walk freely in the open green jungle with confidence and fearlessness which Aunt Jennifer longs to have. She is living in constant fear and dominance of her husband. The tigers are proud and possess high esteem, whereas Aunt Jennifer is totally devoid of self-esteem and is burdened with the weight of living a caged life. The tigers are chivalrous like the knights. Probably Aunt Jennifer wants men to be like knights who give respect to women. Question number 2. Explain massive weight of uncle's wedding band. 2 marks. Answer. Aunt Jennifer is having an unhappy married life in which she cannot voice her opinion, her feelings, or realize her dreams, as she is devoid of freedom of expression. So she finds the wedding band or the wedding ring a big burden, as it is a constant reminder of her sad and unhappy married life. Question number 3. How are Aunt Jennifer's tigers described? What are they? This is 2 marks. So there are 2 questions and each question contains 1 mark. Answer. Aunt Jennifer's tigers are described as confident, fearless, courageous, proud, chivalrous, and radiant. Now we'll answer the second question, which is what are they? So the para has to be changed, children, so that the examiner knows that you have shifted to the next part of the question. They are being stitched or sewn by Aunt Jennifer on a piece of cloth. They symbolize Aunt Jennifer's innermost desires and her state of mind, which she is not able to express in real life. This brings us to the end of the session. Hope I have done justice to the poem. Do feel free to voice your queries and doubts. Please be generous with your likes and do subscribe. Thank you.